In the beginning of 2025, the average transaction price for a brand new luxury car is now up to about 60 grand. Clearly, the affordability has gone away. That's why I'm going to share a list of some of the best used luxury vehicles on the market that are under $25,000, and they even still have warranty. Let's get into it now. First one on my list is right here. You can't go wrong with a moderately priced BMW. Now, a lot of BMWs are extremely expensive, but you can also get your kidney grills. You get the big marquee on the front and as well LED headlights in a slightly smaller SUV. Over here, you'll notice you have an X5, but what we're looking at here is an X3, which is a slightly shrunken down version. And I've always personally said the X3 is one of those vehicles that's a little bit smaller, but it actually packs a lot of punch. They have all of the same technology that you're going to find in more of the more premium versions. As a matter of fact, even this version here is the X-Drive, means it all-wheel drive. You get all-wheel drive, and it's a 30i. The 30i gives you the 2-liter B48 engine under the hood. 255 horsepower, made it up to an 8-speed ZF automatic transmission. It is an absolute workhorse. Very, very reliable transmission in these vehicles. Very, very reliable. The B48 is now a modular engine with heat encapsulation, stronger bottom end, and as a matter of fact, they're so renowned for their durability, they're actually being called reliable, and they're making up the list of Consumers Reports in terms of overall durability. RepairPal doesn't mind them either. It's a strong engine, and allegedly Mercedes-Benz is now reaching out to BMW to utilize the B48 engine in some upcoming cars. Gorgeous headlights, you get the alloy wheels, look at nice detailing there, and of course you get those nice rocker panels, and again, lots of space. These are seats only for 5, but of course in this price point you're usually not going to get too many third row SUVs, but these ones here definitely meet the grade. You can find many of these vehicles 2022 model years that still have warranty and have a decent amount of miles on them. The X3 is one of those vehicles you seriously need to consider as an affordable budget luxury car. And right here is the next one. We have this beautiful little Mercedes-Benz. It's also at a very similar standard and size and classification as the BMW X3, and you're going to find that as a common theme because these are considered a compact SUV. Now this one here is the AMG version, and AMG you're never going to get cheap. They're not the bargain basement cars. You can get, in fact, this vehicle, the GLC 300, which features a 242 horsepower turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, very similar specifications to the BMW's X3, but this also makes up to a 9-speed automatic transmission. You also do get the 4MATIC system, which gives you all-wheel drive front and back. You get great technology, LED headlights, beautiful front grille. Forget about the AMG, again, that's going to be a lot more money, but under $25,000 does get you a beautiful vehicle just like this. And this is very much based on the same chassis and platform as our C300, so I can attest they are fun, they're quiet, they're peaceful, and they have good passing power. Now this is a GLC 43, I already mentioned it's a twin turbo V6. This one's going to cost you more money, but to get into a GLC 300 is the vehicle you're going to get. But you are going to get beautiful styling, you're going to get beautiful two-tone handles on there, roof rack, and just an overall plethora of technology that you're absolutely going to be overloaded and overwhelmed with. It's a fun car, gets great fuel mileage, and quite honestly, at under $25,000, a GLC 300 represents another amazing purchase. And the next car on the list that you can own under $25,000 that you still has some warranty is this little gem. Why is that? Well, because
life's too short to drive boring cars.
Now this car here is an RS3. These are significantly priced vehicles even on the secondary market. But the vehicle I'm speaking of isn't necessarily the RS3. You can find the occasional vehicle, the S3 model, which features the 2-liter turbocharged 4, and it's going to give you about 300 horsepower, or even the A3 model, which is going to be a fun little peppy car. Now you can get manual gearbox with their DCTs in certain models, and they are a whole load of fun. They're fun size and they're compact, and everybody likes a fun, nimble little sporty car. This one, sure, it's got the practicality of 4 doors, but even in the A3 or the S3 models, they're still going to be a fun little driver. You get the LEDs, beautiful wheels, look, calipers that are nice fold-away mirrors, and a large sunroof. These are great cars. They're a lot of fun, and with that level of performance as well as fuel economy that tops 30 miles per gallon, who doesn't want to drive an A3 and S3 all day long? They're affordable. Even though the reliability isn't necessarily up there with Lexus, it still is a practical, sporty, fun little car that you're probably still going to be able to drive to 150, 200,000 miles all day long. Now right here's the next one, and I can't believe still that you can find this caliber of car for under $25,000, but this is very inspiring because they're very reliable and arguably one of the most reliable cars that Lexus has today. I've found actually numerous vehicles of 2022 model year. We're talking about the ES300, and this is their full-size luxury sedan. ES300H means you get a hybrid drivetrain, 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine under the hood, their ECPP CVT system, very reliable, very robust, and made to last a long time. Beautiful wheels on these vehicles. Of course, look at all of the detailing around there. You get the LC500 mirrors. Look at almost black chrome on there. But look, LED headlights. But you get those beautiful sight lines on there. Gorgeous car. You get a sunroof, beautiful heated, cooled leather seats. You get almost all of the space you need. Massive amounts of legroom for the people in the back. It's an absolute glorious vehicle. Look, all the chrome detailing. You get that nice little wing on there. It gives you reliability and it gives you long life. And these will last hundreds of thousands of miles for under 25 grand. This great little car here offers you another opportunity to get into a luxury car for under $25,000. And because it's an Acura, it's actually relatively reliable. Now, it's not necessarily one of their best drivetrains, but it definitely works. It's fun, it's peppy, and it definitely carries the badge. And of course, with that, you get all of the modern technology that's dressed up. Where Honda keeps it simple, Acura dials it up a notch. Here you get beautiful LED headlights. Look at this beautiful front grille on these vehicles. Love the sight lines along the front. Absolutely gorgeous. You can either get a CVT, I'm not the biggest fan of the belts and pulleys myself, or you can get a 6-speed row your own gear manual gearbox as an option. Either way, they come mated up to a 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that's mated under the hood, puts out little under 200 pound-feet of torque, but gives you all of 200 horsepower. It's a fun car. Now, to call this a luxury vehicle is a wee bit of a stretch. I mean, it's a luxury car brand, although it's more or less a Honda Civic. The A-Spec does give you those options for CVT. You get a little sunroof on a lot of these. Beautiful painted handles, gorgeous LEDs around the back. The Acura Integra is an absolute gorgeous little unit, and one of those vehicles you could easily own. You could feel proud to drive around in it. It feels somewhat luxurious, if not a little bit edgier. It's certainly slightly less refined than some of the big brothers, but it definitely meets the grade. It's reliable, it's economical, and it's fun. Here's one I was looking at too for a while, because in this particular model, it's one of the only subcompact SUVs that you can actually get a functional third row. While there's also some smaller ones like Volkswagen and Tiguan, there's no room back there. I've tried it, it's sad. Mercedes-Benz GLB250 gives you an optional third row in the back, but it also gives you a 220 horsepower turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine under the hood, made it up to an 8-speed automatic transmission, makes it for a very practical and economical driving experience. Of course, it's primarily mated to the front wheels, but naturally front and back all-wheel drive. Of course, right up there you see the big screen that goes across. You get the sunroof on top, you get the chrome and two-tone handles on there. But again, because of its boxiness, the GLB and the GLA are very, very similar platforms. The only difference is the GLA is sleeker, smaller, lower, and it only offers you the 2+3. Unfortunately, the third row is only an option in the GLB, and that's a big reason why I think it's so practical. When you're dealing with close to 30 miles to the gallon combined, and you have practical third row in a subcompact SUV that actually works, here you have a vehicle that's somewhat durable, somewhat reliable. You're going to get hundreds of thousands of miles, and I'm seeing lots of these all over the internet for sale. 2022, 2023 means they're well within that warranty period, and you can pick these up for a song and a dance under 25 grand. These are a true little gem. What we're looking at here is an NX, which is their mid or subcompact or compact SUV. I like the style of it. It's definitely in line with BMW's X3, Mercedes-Benz GLC vehicles as well are all in this classification. This one is the NX350, but the vehicle that you're probably going to find the best bang for buck or value is going to be the NX250, because that has the naturally aspirated 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine under the hood that's also made it up to an 8-speed automatic transmission, means you get a torque converter. And would you believe it or not, this Lexus actually comes with all-wheel drive as standard. So not only do you get a great looking vehicle, beautiful vents, LEDs along the back, beautiful wheels, look at the two-tone here, beautiful sunroof on top with lots of daylight coming in there, and it's a beautiful vehicle. I keep saying that over and over again. I can't believe you can get this much vehicle with low mileage for under 25 grand that still has warranty. Why would you even buy a new one when you can buy a vehicle like this that's known to run hundreds of thousands of miles? If you're looking at spending something on a brand new Toyota Corolla, why not step up and get something with a few miles on it and get a much, much nicer vehicle like the Lexus NX. And the next one right here, we have an Audi A4. Now it comes with a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. You do also get paired up with it a 12-volt mild hybrid system. Produces up to a maximum of 261 horsepower in a 45 TFSI version. Does give you a 7-speed dual clutch gearbox. It's fun, it's peppy. Audis in some cases in higher mileage have been been known for a little oil consumption. Newer generations seem to be a little stronger, a little better. You could expect some carbon fouling with age, with some miles, like a lot of cars with direct injected engines these days. But at 261 horsepower and a 0 to 60 at 5.5 seconds, these cars are absolutely blistering. You get the quattro all-wheel drive system. They look great. They tend to be a little push happy, so in other words, they tend to understeer a little more than some of their competition, but they do arguably have one of the best all-wheel drive systems in the market today. And you can actually get a base trim A4 now for under $25,000. All of the beautiful laser cut rims like that. You get these beautiful mirrors that fold away. Look at the handles. One touch accent in. Roof rack, of course, with sunroof on top. Quattro badging all over. All kinds of nice detailing. These Audis are absolutely getting a lot prettier. You get LEDs on the rear tail lights, but to get into the base A4 sedan is the car that we're talking about that's likely going to get you in for under 25 grand. And if you can believe it, you'll even get some warranty, which is an additional peace of mind. So you can drive it home, drive it for another 6 months or a year, and hopefully you can get the appreciation for these fine luxury cars. And here's the next one on the list, is a beautiful BMW 3 Series. Now these ones are a bit of a stretch. A lot of these times they're harder to find because they're so popular in the secondary market. A lot of used buyers love these, and normally they go for the B58, which is of course you're finding in this generation. You could tell by the cross hatches, these ones are a lot more money generally when you want to get into the inline 6. But if you get into a base trim like a 330 like this vehicle, you'll notice a difference in the front grille. It's more vertical slats there, and of course the grills open up when you need to add the additional cooling for the radiator, cool the engine. They also feature the 8-speed automatic transmission, absolutely bulletproof. You get the 255 horsepower inline turbo 2-liter engine under the hood. It also has great fuel economy. It also has beautiful laser wheels, flip away mirrors, one touch in. Of course, you get a bigger sunroof on these vehicles too. Look at the Hofmeister's kink right there, and LEDs. So it's the 330 that's going to be the car you're probably going to find with a few miles, 2022 model years, maybe 23s, but likely they're going to last a decent amount of time. These ones here are definitely the more desired, also 3 Series, but unfortunately the 340 comes at a premium because that's a highly sought after turbocharged 6 with almost 400 ponies. These ones here give you 250, and it's more than enough. I can attest. You do get the optional all-wheel drive and the X-Drive versions like this. They're just an absolute gem, and you can actually start to find a few of these on the market for under 25 grand. Now here's a little gem by Lexus. These are great little vehicles. They're not going to win a lot of races, and what you're dealing with here is a UX. There's a variety of different versions, but the UX200 is the one that I'm speaking of, because here we have a hybrid. We have a variety of different engine available. Now if you get the UH200, there's a lot of those for sale, and the beauty is you can have them for under $25,000, and most importantly, it's a Lexus. Look, you get the LC500 mirrors, you get the one touch in, of course you get the big beautiful sunroof, and it's an absolute gorgeous car. It does come with a CVT transmission. It does also come with a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that makes about 170 horsepower. Effectively, it's not much more than a Toyota Corolla with Lexus skins. It's a gorgeous car. You get all of the front grille, you get the badging, and you get the style. It's a reliable car, plain and simple. It's a Lexus Toyota. They're very reliable. They're very fuel economical as well, and they're just a car that's going to last hundreds of thousands of miles, and they're going to do it effectively. I've seen them all over the place with warranty for 2022, 2023 model years. CVT transmission, 4-cylinder. Again, they're not going to win a lot of races, but they are definitely a quality vehicle. They have all the practicality. It's 2 plus 2.5, you might say. Not a lot of room in there, but you do got all the safety technology and a gorgeous design to boot. The Lexus UH200 or any other UH model that you can find in your budget. Here's one of my favorites right here because of some of the driving capabilities. Now that what you get here is a 2-liter turbocharged inline 4 that's rated for about 27 miles per gallon, so you get decent fuel economy. It also gives you about 221 horsepower, but it mates up to a 7-speed dual clutch gearbox driven primarily to the front wheels. Now if you get the all-wheel drive system, or in other words the 4MATIC, then you can get all-wheel drive in these vehicles as an option, and in most markets that's generally you're going to find it that way. It's actually a lot harder to find predominantly front-wheel drive. You get the big beautiful wheels on here, 2-tone handles. Look at the big glass top, the Thunderdome. That's what these called, the Thunderdome. They're peppy, they're punchy, they're fun, and they're affordable. And these vehicles here, you could find all kinds of these on the market. Now, are they quality? Well, not bad. You get all of the amenities, the technology, you get the full digital display on these vehicles as well that literally goes almost across the dash, you can see, but it also has all of the technology, the safety features you possibly want. You get laser LEDs on here. You also get all kinds of nice detailing. Look at the rocker panels, look fresh, simple. These ones are gas powered only, and the CLA250 means that's the entry level. How about a backup camera? You name it. Accident avoidance, lane departure. Again, this one comes in the 4MATIC, so it's all-wheel drive. You get the beautiful tailpipe exhaust finishing here. I personally love these vehicles. I've driven them, I've reviewed them a few times, and they're absolutely fun. Now, they don't feel like an E-Class or an S-Class, not even close. But for a car you want to jump in, peppy around, it's zippy, it's zingy, the dual clutch is a little bit punchy, and a lot of people don't necessarily love that because it doesn't feel as refined, but it is sporty, it's aggressive, the car handles really well. Have there been a few issues along the way? Absolutely. Talking about possible PCV problems from time to time. You're talking about some of the hardware that maybe doesn't fit right, and you'll find mostly on the interior. But generally, for the most part, it might be tech related. If you have a weak battery under the hood, then that can cause you problems, start spitting out check engine lights and all kinds of weird codes. Well-maintained vehicles like this will last a long time, and I've seen many of these with hundreds of thousands of miles. So this is definitely one of the best buys under 25 grand. You can get them with very low mileage, and the key is you still get some warranty too if you're buying a 22 or a 23, and you can feel proud that you own a car from one of the most legendary luxury car manufacturers. But if you're looking for luxury cars, if you have a little bit more budget, my best favorite BMWs I would buy, and the best used Audis I would buy. Hope to see each and every one in the next one, everybody. We'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.